We sold our house on the edge of town and sold my business in order to start our new journey and buy 20 acres of rural, undeveloped land to try our hand at homesteading. With zero experience, we are planting, growing, harvesting, preserving, raising livestock, building our home ourselves, beekeeping, homeschooling, really everything homestead you can think of, we are trying. We invite you to come alongside us in this learning adventure. If this interests you, which I pray it does, please subscribe to our channel and do please interact with us. We can all learn from each other. Hello campers, my name is Lee with Camphomesteadacres. I hope this video finds you blessed. Today we are rebuilding our garden. Yes, I say rebuilding. If you are new, you may not know that we suffered a flood last year and it took out our entire garden. It took out more than that and it damaged our house, but it completely devastated our garden. So we weren't able to garden at all last year, pick anything, preserve anything. So now we are at the point to rebuild our garden, and we're trying to do it in a way where if it floods again, praying against that, but if it floods again, maybe it won't cause, maybe little to no damage. We're hoping, we're praying. So with that, we moved the garden a little bit, hopefully away from the flood zone, unless it makes a new path. And we decided to do raised beds. Before, all of our garden was straight into the ground. And this year we decided to take the time and build raised beds for all of our vegetation. So since we are low on funds, I thought it would be fun to have you guys along to show you how we turned free pallets into raised garden beds. So hang out with us today while we get these pallets stripped down and turned into raised garden beds.
Yeah. Are you keeping all that stuff?
Yeah. Yes.
I got a ball of it right here. I think I got a bag in my truck. Put it in.
He was talking about this because they're shedding their winter hair, and I'm just helping him out because it itches so bad.
She was liking it.
Yeah, it feels good to her.
I bet.
She's like, get it
hopefully
off.
we don't get another cold snap. She'll be alright. She'll be alright. Huh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And that's not even half her hair. She still has so much.
Look at all that dubbing, fly time material.
So he's just taking a little handsaw and sawing through the nails that put these pallets together. He has to do one board by one board by one board, and each pallet has, I think, 12 boards, 6 on each side or more, depending on how big the pallet is. So he definitely has his work cut out for him, and it was definitely time-consuming and a little draining. But it's worth it when you don't have money. You don't have to have a lot of money to build an amazingly beautiful garden. So again, we used free pallets that we found on the marketplace. Some people sell them for pretty cheap, and if you're patient enough, you can find companies that just give them away by the bundles, And I think we went several times to the same business, and we ended up getting, I would say, I can't remember. I think it was like 14 at a time, and we went a couple of times. So we got quite a few. We also have other projects that is going to need pallets as well, so we're always looking for pallets. If you watched our previous video from a few months back, part of our fireplace, we built our fireplace by ourselves, and we used pallet wood for the face of our fireplace. I love how it turned out. I still need to either paint it or stain it. Haven't decided yet. I really do like how it looks naturally, so I haven't really done anything with the fireplace face yet. But yeah, so we have a lot of projects that we are thinking outside the box, like how else can we use these pallets for the free wood, because if you build anything at all recently, you know that building supplies have quadrupled and they are slowly coming down, but not enough. So wood is a hot commodity. It's very expensive. So get as much free wood as possible. So basically what he's doing is taking one side of the pallets, stripping all of the planks off, and on the other side of the pallet, he's cutting it in half. And then once the pallet is cut in half, he takes the planks that he ripped off and puts them on, like, overlapping the other side of the pallet that still has the pallet wood on it, if that makes sense. That way, it prevents gapping and holes, so that when we fill it with compost and manure and fill dirt or topsoil, it won't, crumble through the cracks, because he's trying to put them overlapping so that there is no cracks for the dirt to just billow out of. So hopefully, I'm not very good at describing things, so hopefully you understand what he's doing. He's taking one half of the pallet, stripping the planks down, and then on the other half of the pallet that still has planks attached to it, he's putting the planks that he stripped down and overlapping them on the existing portion of the pallet. And then he's doing that several times and measuring and cutting, and then he's putting all four corners together to make a raised bed box. So do you understand what I'm saying? Because at this point, who knows? You're soaked. I knew it the second we turned our backs. Yep. You're going to be in the pond.
Hey, I did it.
Well, at least go do it when I'm recording. Come on.
I did it. Look at her. Oh my God. Good, Mom. Hey! It's dangerous though. I want her not to get in there. Hey!
Oh! I don't want to get wet. Okay. Clearly, that pond is a work in progress. We did that the very first year that we moved here, and we haven't been back to it since. He accidentally cut into, like while he was digging out the pond, he cut into the creek. So it started filling up way sooner than what we had planned, and now there's fish living in there. And now there's algae growing, sadly. So if anyone has any comments down below that is not harmful to the fish but can remove the algae, even if it's other fish I could put in there, please put that in the comment section, because I'm having the hardest time researching what we can do to cut down the algae. I did find some liquid I could put in it, but it says that the pond has to be really good filtered, and we don't have like a fountain or a filter system put in there yet. It's going to have to be solar power, and I can't for the life of me find what we're needing in order to get a filter system going. So also, if you have any recommendations on a solar powered pump and filter, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a fountain. I actually prefer not to have a fountain in there. So any type of a filter system for a large outdoor pond with fish that is solar powered, if you know of a company, please drop it in the comment section below, because I'm having the hardest time finding something. But also, so we need to do that, but also if there's any fish that we could put in there that would survive out here, just anything would be so greatly appreciated, because I don't want my fish that have found their way to the pond to die. And right now it's just being so overcome by algae, which is why we didn't want Sapphire to really play a whole lot in there. We definitely don't want her to drink that water. But it's a work in progress, because we still have to dig it a lot deeper, but we now need to keep in mind that there's creatures living there, and what's the safest way to continue to to dig the pond bigger. The circumference, we want it to be bigger, and the depth we want bigger. So that's just kind of at a standstill since we accidentally cut into the creek and it prematurely filled with water. So here again, he is just taking those sides of the pallets that he had overlapped the planks, and he is connecting them all together to make a pretty nice sized, I was about to say flower bed. No, these are not just for flowers. Oh my goodness. Garden bed. Why was that so hard for me to think of just now? So yeah, so now he is just connecting them all together, making them secure, and making one big rectangle and moving on to the next one. So as you can see, up until this point, he has already made quite a few. As I stated in previous videos, T is not good at recording video for me, so it's only the footage that I can get in between all of the projects that I also too am working on. He does have a tripod. He just absolutely refuses to get me any kind of content. So I do my best. I miss a lot, but I also try to get as much as I possibly can, like I said, in between all of the projects that I also have going on, as well as homeschooling and having a child with more needs than most, and all of the household chores that need to be done. So yeah, I also have projects that I work on, and I do all of those things. So, and I try to break free to at least record one full raised bed from start to finish. I didn't get to do the entire garden, but I at least wanted you guys to see from start to finish how we put these raised beds together, in case you guys were interested and wanted to try it too. And if you guys have an easier, also free way to make raised beds, then feel free to comment that in down below as well. Always looking for some help, and hopefully this video helps someone else out also. But yeah, free pallets. You can get so many different uses out of it. I'm actually thinking about making an outdoor storage bench out of additional pallets that we have for our front porch, because right now, we don't have a garage, and so we don't have a place to put like our outdoor toys for the kids and stuff. So I thought it would be nice and rustic and goes with our whole theme to make a bench storage seating for our front porch. So it'll look nice. It's useful so we could sit out there and look at nature, but also it'll store all of the outdoor toys and stuff and get them out of the weather. But here's an up close video of what a finished raised bed made out of free pallets looks like. Doesn't really matter what they look like as long as the usefulness is where it needs to be. So I guess time will tell when we get the dirt and stuff to fill it, whether this idea worked well or not. It still just blows my mind how things can be broken down and rebuilt into something completely new with a new purpose, a new life, and everything. It just blows my mind. But here are the rest of the pallets that we have to work with. You'll see here later on that T really expressed to me how time consuming this was. And again, if you have the time to do it, it is so worth it, because it saves you so much money. We do not have the finances to buy them pre-made or buy the materials to make them out of wood that you buy at a lumber store. So super thankful. Now you can see in this part of the video, it is starting to snow. Later that night, it snowed, plus there was nasty winds, and it ended up blowing down many cedar trees. And so that morning he woke up and he came to me and said, how do you feel about me completing the beds with the downed cedar trees? And I'm all for that. I actually I wish the whole garden was made out of the cedar trees that were blown down. We didn't have enough, but I think it makes such a beautiful garden. I had to run errands in town literally almost all day. And I come home to our garden posts put in the ground. I had no idea this was the plan for today. I thought he was going to work on more pallet raised beds. But here we are with the posts. So are we going to keep this original side up, and this now is the new garden?
Yeah.
So that's at least half of what you didn't have to do.
Yeah.
Well, are you having to reinforce these or no?
I'm gonna put these ones solid here, so then this corner,
The new ones?
water will
Yeah.
be strong. Those I think will be okay because they survived it. So
Yeah.
this is strong.
That's in concrete too?
Yeah. All this front end, I'm gonna do it a lot strong. This corner, and our gate. Our gate's gonna be like right in the middle here. Might do it right here.
All right.
I did a little bit more, push myself.
This is not what I thought the plan was for today, so I came home to a surprise. So if you're wondering why I didn't record this part, it's because he likes to do the good projects when I'm not home. And then he is really bad at recording things. So he probably didn't record himself building this garden, but here we are. And it looks like we are reusing those cedar posts that I mentioned. Either in this video or a previous video, we are reusing those cedar posts from what we could salvage from our old garden. This is where our old garden was, and it got flooded, and this is a little higher up. It slopes up a little bit, so we have now moved the garden over here to hopefully be out of the flood path if we get flooded again, because before the water just came ripping through here into the pond and out to the creek, and so we lost our entire garden. You can see parts of our fencing. We had to pull our fencing, like that post right there came from our garden. Most of it was in our pond. So we salvaged what we could, and now we are rebuilding, and this is where our garden now is. He made it seem like we weren't going to be able to reuse our cedar posts, and I'm so thankful that we're doing the cedar posts again, because in my opinion, it just makes for such a prettier garden. Awesome. And then the raised beds, obviously, to also help against if we get flooded again. So here is the start of changing direction and moving on to the cedar trees that snapped. Pretty much was mutilated in the wind storms. So we're going to continue. Most of the trees completely fell down, and this one needed help getting completely down. So he is just going to be chainsawing some cedar trees that broke in half and will not come back to life. So he's going to be cutting those down, cutting them to size, and then forming cedar tree raised beds for the next portion of the garden prep. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. Cedar smells and looks absolutely beautiful. It is my favorite tree wood. So, so pretty. I love the different tones, the tans, the reds, especially if you shellac it. But we're not going to be, obviously, we're not going to be shellacking the garden raised beds. But oh boy, when you build out of cedar, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. It is so beautiful. But anyway, so we are cutting down the trees that snapped in half and then bucking them up to size, dragging him down with his truck down to the garden, and finishing building the raised beds out of the downed cedar trees. That way the cedar trees didn't die in vain. They are going to be put to good use, and we'll have hopefully many, many years out of them. And I can't wait. I hope that in the future we could finish our entire garden out of the cedar logs, because it's, like I said, I love that rustic look. So stunning. It's going to be stunning either way, and it's going to serve a purpose, and I'm excited. I just can't wait to get back into the kitchen and cook and bake and preserve all of the little sweeties that we helped grow with our bare hands. There's nothing more rewarding, I feel like, in homesteading. And this is where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us today. If you did, please don't forget to click on the like button. It sure helps my small channel out a whole bunch. And if you liked hanging out and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It is free to you, and I would love to have you along for this journey and be a part of the family. And as always, be blessed and be a blessing. Bye.